We are essentially 24 hours away from the trade deadline coming to a close, and the last few hours have been absolute madness. We have Joey Gallo, my friend, heading to New York. We're going to talk about the final trade in just a second. We also have the Astros picking up another relief pitcher, followed by Eduardo Escobar, Cesar Hernandez, and Brad Hand. They're all going to new teams, so we'll talk about that in just a moment. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We do this every single day, so if you're brand new to the channel, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as use code Fuzzy to save yourself 20 bucks off any baseball game you're going to. Now, I do want to bring up the fact that the Nationals have 12 positive cases of the you-know-what, so their game is actually going to get postponed, so we'll see how that... Well, actually, they're playing right now. Max Scherzer is on the bump, and speaking of Max Scherzer, a lot of rumors are saying that he is going to either the Red Sox or the Dodgers, maybe even the Giants, so I'll keep you guys updated on that in the following days. And also, Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo are both out of the lineup today, and the manager of the Cubs, Mr. Ross, he is saying that it's just an off day. Yeah, right, the Cubs aren't playing tomorrow on the 30th. What are you talking about, off day? The reason why they're out of the lineup is because they might get traded, so you're not fooling any of us. Now, before we talk about the walk-off victories, we also have Shohei Ohtani proving why he is the MVP of the league, and then the Tigers versus the Twins, almost 30 runs were scored, so we're going to go ahead and break that down. But let's go ahead and talk about every single trade that has gone down over the last 24 hours, starting off with the Astros getting yet another relief pitcher. So a few days ago, they traded for Kendall Graveman, and then they picked up Yimi Garcia. I told you guys he was going to get shipped. I've been talking about him for quite some time. And in return, they got a monster prospect, Brian De La Cruz. Kim Ng, the brand new GM of the Marlins, has absolutely crushed the trade line, getting Jesus Luzardo and Brian De La Cruz. So good for her. You have Joey Gallo and Joely Rodriguez going to the Yankees in exchange for 4 prospects instead of 6. You guys can see all of those guys. The biggest one, in my opinion, is Trevor Hauber going from the Yankees to the Rangers. So it's no longer Joey Gallo and Josh King. It's Gallo, Joely Rodriguez, or I don't remember his last name, in exchange for these 4 guys. And the Rangers are paying the remainder of both of the contracts for Gallo and Joely. We have Eduardo Escobar to the Brewers. This came out of nowhere, and good for the Brewers. Now that they have Rowdy Tellez playing like prime Babe Ruth, they have Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, and Freddie Peralta to start a 3-game series of any playoff series. And now you insert Eduardo Escobar to a lineup that has already been pretty good ever since they acquired Willy Adames, and Christian Yelich hasn't even been himself. I would be deathly afraid of the Brewers if I face them in the playoffs. We have Cesar Hernandez going to the Chicago White Sox. Are you serious? So we're going to have to face him in the next few weeks. I'm really happy for Cesar Hernandez. He's going to a playoff contender. Unfortunately, the baseball gods were not nice to Cleveland this year, because we had a shot to maybe make a wild card push, but then Bieber went down, then Savala went down, then Plesac. We lost all of our pitchers in the span of a week, so Cesar is going to the White Sox. He has been a monster in the month of July. And then Brad Hand is the final trade that I can report on at current time. We'll see if any more trades come out by the time that I'm done editing this, but we have Brad Hand going to the Toronto Blue Jays. Let me just say hashtag pray for Toronto, because Brad Hand is the most elite bad pitcher I have ever seen in my entire life. He is so good when it doesn't matter, but when it matters, he turns into, I don't know, Tyler Chatwood. So a lot of people are saying, hey, at least he's better than Tyler Chatwood. Well, not when it matters. I seriously, and I'm not trying to be a jerk, cannot remember one single instance of Brad Hand coming in big time during a clutch playoff moment or during a regular season run. It just doesn't happen, and if it has, it's been a long time. So those are the trades. Let me know what you think of Joey Gallo going to the Yankees. A lot of people are saying,
wow, the Yankees got a lifetime 211 hitter.
You are stupid. Let me just say that right now. Usually I'm very polite in these videos, but if you don't think that Joey Gallo is good because he strikes out a lot, you should turn in your baseball card, never watch my videos ever again, or any other foolish baseball, Giraffe Nick Mark, John Boy video. You have no idea what you're talking about, because Joey Gallo has been a top 50 player, I would say top 25 player in baseball so far in 2021, so stop being an immature baseball fan. Batting average is a thing of the past. Joey Gallo has an OPS plus above 130, and he plays elite defense while having 25 home runs and a cannon. So again, if you think that Joey Gallo going to the Yankees is actually making them worse, you're stupid. Anyways, let's move on over to the highlights from yesterday. We have two walk-offs to talk about. The Orioles and the Royals both walked off the teams that they were playing. We have Jesus Aguilar exploding in the month of July. Let's see if he's going to get shipped by the Marlins. He starts off with an RBI double and then hits a 3-run home run later on to make it 5-0, but then Baltimore, they explode for 5 runs in the 3rd inning. You have Severino and Mancini both hitting home runs, and then Ramon Urias ties it up as Miami, all of a sudden they go up 7-5, but then Baltimore, they keep on fighting, and they walk it off on a wild pitch. We have the Royals versus the White Sox. Danny Mendick drives in 1, and then another scores on some pretty bad defense. I'm not sure what the second baseman was doing. Lucas Giolito was masterful yesterday, only 1 earned run on 7 strikeouts in 6 innings, but then Soler, he cuts the lead in half, and Salvi, he ties it up on a 440-foot moonshot for the Royals as Michael Taylor walks it off in the final inning. So there you go, the walk-offs from yesterday, the Orioles as well as the Royals, both teams that aren't really playing for much, but at least they're still trying. The Angels versus the Rockies. This is a pretty fun series because you have German Marquez and Trevor Story auditioning to the rest of the league because they're most likely, maybe not German Marquez, but Trevor Story is now, after Joey Gallo got traded, the biggest fish left in the trade market. You have him hitting a 2-run home run, and the Rockies go up 3-1, but then Shohei, the MVP, it's Showtime, hits home run number 37 and adds a nice little bat flip, so he is so much fun to watch. Just a few days ago, he went 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run. He is the greatest player in the history of baseball, or at least you could say most talented, and to me, it's not even really close at this moment. You have Justin Upton hitting a 2-run home run, and then Max Stassi muscles up for a huge 408-foot missile as the Angels bullpen implodes. Now, unfortunately for Colorado, they do tie it up, but the goose becomes loose. Phil Gosselin, he brings in the go-ahead run, and Raisel Iglesias, he is able to hold the lead down. And I just want to mention Shohei Ohtani, with almost 50 games left or something like that, has a 7 WAR already on the season. He is on pace to have one of the greatest regular seasons in the history of Major League Baseball. So hate on that. Joey Votto, the resurgence is in session. 5 consecutive games with a home run. And you have Jesse Winker driving in an RBI on a double, and Tyler Stevenson knocks in 2 on an almost double. He got thrown out, but that was in the 5th inning, and Tyler Mahle was able to go 6 shutout innings on 103 pitches, and Joey Votto becomes the oldest player in history to have 7 home runs in 5 games at 37 years old. And Shogo Akiyama, he has an RBI and the double to cap off a pretty good night for Cincinnati. So the 37-year-old Votto has 19 home runs, 56 RBIs, a 133 OPS plus, and for his career, he is approaching 63 WAR. So in my opinion, Joey Votto, he's a Hall of Famer, or at least he is very, very close to it. If he can keep up this pace for the rest of the season and just be good going into his 38 and 39-year-old seasons, he's going to make it. So the Yankees won a ball game against the Rays yesterday without Aaron Judge and Joey Gallo, or at least Aaron Judge came in later in the game, but they started it off without Judge in the lineup. You have Brandon driving in Wander Franco, who hustles all the way from first to put the Rays up 1-0, but then DJ LeMahieu, this sacrifice fly ties it up in the 5th inning, and both starting pitchers were great. You have the Yankees ace, yes, I said it, no, I'm just kidding. Nestor Cortez only allows 1 earned run in 5 innings, and Michael Wacha goes 5 innings with 0 earned runs on 9 strikeouts. All of a sudden, Wacha has been back in business. He is playing like 2015 Michael Wacha. Aaron Judge, he has a pinch hit opportunity and delivers after being scratched. I don't know what happened because he was clearly ready to hit later on in the game. Either way, Greg Allen scores on a wild pitch, and Aroldis Chapman has 2 strikeouts, and DJ LeMahieu almost turned in to Luis Castillo. Remember that one play? Castillo, he drops it. He drops the ball. That almost happened yet again for Michael K, who made that call, and I did not know that DJ LeMahieu could smile. I thought he was a robot. So the Rays are now 8-7 against the Yankees this year, and the Yankees are 2.5 games back of the A's for the wild card. Let's talk about the Diamondbacks and the Rangers because they both traded away some of their best players. The Diamondbacks with Eduardo Escobar and the Rangers with Joey Gallo. David Peralta hit his first home run in 2 months, and then a sac fly ties it up against Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner, he was pretty good in my opinion. On 84 pitches, he goes 7 innings, allows those 2 earned runs. And then Dalton Varsho has been a monster. He has been one of the better offensive catchers in baseball since the 1st of July. Moving on over to Cleveland, again, they traded one of their better pieces, but that was after Franmil Reyes hits one to space. I have a feeling that this one is still flying, and then Cesar Hernandez, I wish I would have known this at the time, hit his final home run for Cleveland. He goes the other way on a 2-run shot, and then J-Ram, he wants in on the action. A lot of people are saying that he's going to get traded. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Franmil, he makes it back-to-back with J-Ram, and Plesac, he gets 7 runs of support, only allows 2 earned runs in 5 innings, and the bullpen no-hits the Cardinals in the final 4 innings and racks up 7 strikeouts. Moving on over to the Brewers. Why am I forgetting his name all of a sudden? It's not Adolis Garcia. What is his for Garcia? You guys are going to spam me in the comment section down below, but right now I cannot remember his. Obviously Garcia. Lorenzo Cain comes in huge with 2 RBIs in the 4th inning, and Adrian Hauser throws 5 shutout innings. I mean, even between Adrian Hauser and Brett Anderson, the Brewers have pitching for days. You have Luis Urias driving in 2 RBIs in the 6th, and I want to mention, even though the Brewers smoked the Pirates, Rodolfo Castro had 2 home runs later on in the game for Pittsburgh. He has 5 hits to begin his career, and all 5 are home runs. The first player to ever do that. The Jays and the Red Sox played in a doubleheader yesterday. We have people still running on Alex Verdugo. I don't understand why that's a thing. And then from there, it was all Toronto as Randall Grichuk hits a 2-run bomb in the 4th inning. George Springer hits a dinger, and Robbie Ray, he has been so solid this entire season. 1 earned run on 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. He has a 2.55 ERA to begin the second half. And Romano, Mr. Jordan, gets his 8th save. And then in game number 2, Rafael Devers drives in a run early, and Jarren Duran hits a sacrifice fly in the 2nd. But he wasn't done. He turns on the burners on this Little League home run. He shows off his 70 grade speed, which 80 is the most that you can have as a prospect. You have Matt Barnes ending it on a double play, and Tanner Houck had 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. So the Jays are now 4.5 games back, but hopefully with Brad Hand, maybe he turns into an elite closer. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but at least they're trying. We have the Astros versus the Mariners. Yuli Gurriel drives an RBI on a double in the 3rd inning, and Aledmus Diaz, another one on a single in the 4th, as Gurriel, he goes crazy later on in the game, hitting a home run to dead center. In Houston, they end up with 8 runs as Abraham Toro, the former superstar MVP candidate, now I'm just being facetious, he has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs in his first 2 games for the Seattle Mariners, so good for him. Kyle Tucker, I mean, he adds to the madness with 20 home runs and 63 RBIs. So the Astros, they spank their division rivals, the Seattle Mariners. And Seattle, even though they're 7 games above 500, they kind of have been a buzzkill the last 2 games, because Houston, they're now 6 games ahead of anyone in the West. And maybe the GM was ahead of the game. Maybe the Mariners, he understood that they were not going to make the playoffs, so he sold off and got a really good player in Abraham Toro. And so far, honestly, Toro has been solid. And again, it's been 2 games, so we'll have to see how this finishes up at the end of the year. The Tigers versus the Twins. You could also say the Lions versus the Vikings, because wow, now that I look at it, over 30 runs were scored, 17 by the Tigers without hitting a single home run. You have Akil Baddoo starting an 8-run 4th inning to make it 10-0 for Detroit. And then out of nowhere, Miguel Sano, Ryan Jeffers, and then Sano in the same inning make it 10-6. And Detroit, they extend the lead. So you think it's going to be a wrap at that point. It is 13-6 going into the 6th inning. Minnesota hits 4 home runs in the 8th. So at that point, again, I'm thinking, what are the Tigers doing? They are trying to give away this W. I mean, it's almost obvious. Now, luckily for them, they have 3 Rookie of the Year candidates, Akil Baddoo and Eric Haas, along with Casey Mize. Haas clears the bases yesterday, and then Jorge Polanco, just to add to the madness, hits the 7th home run for Minnesota in the 9th inning. They are the first team in the history of baseball to lose after out-homering their opponent by 7. How do you do that? The Mets versus the Braves. This one had both fan bases on the edge of their seat for the entirety of the game. You have Jeff McNeil driving in an RBI early on, and Austin Riley, who just hit a home run as I'm talking. And at the time, he had 57 RBIs and a 3.1 WAR, but we know that is only going to get extended because he just went yard. You have Megill going 1 earned run in 5 1/3 innings to lower his ERA to 2.04. He has been mini DeGrom so far in 2021, and Brandon Drury now has 3 pinch bullshit homers on the year. Jurgis Familia and Edwin Diaz, they finished the job with the help of Michael Conforto. You fools! You should not be running on Michael Conforto. So this loss sets the Braves back to 2 games under 500. Now they are winning right now, so we'll see about that later on. The Braves are 5 games out of first place, so are they going to be sellers? Who really knows? The Dodgers, ooh, they shut out the Giants in pretty easy fashion yesterday. Justin Turner, he puts the Dodgers up 1-0, and Will Smith drives in 2 RBIs. So since the beginning of 2020, Will Smith has 22 home runs, 73 RBIs, a 142 OPS plus over his last 121 games, and Max Muncy in the 7th, he delivers with 2 RBIs. In 15 games against the Giants, he has 18 home runs, 12 RBIs, and an almost 1,300 OPS. He is the Giants' daddy. Walker Buehler goes 7 shutout innings on 3 base hits along with 8 strikeouts, and Bellinger, he needed this because he has a 90 OPS plus over his last 101 games. He has been not good. But like I mentioned, the Dodgers are in on Max Scherzer, and now a breaking story, they're also in on Jose Barrios, so we'll talk about that later on if it happens. And then last but not least, the A's versus the Padres. Matt Chapman launches a 404-foot 3-run home run, and Mark Canha, he delivers with an RBI in the 2nd. It was 7-0 before the 4th. Blake Snell, his ERA now sits at 5.44. He has not been the guy for San Diego. Maybe he was a product of Tampa Bay. Who knows? Sean Manaea, though, was fantastic. 9 strikeouts on 1 hit in 6 shutout innings as the A's scored 10 on some sloppy defense from the San Diego Padres. And that does it for today's MLB recap. That was a long and beefy one. That sounded weird. But thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for all the support over the last few days. I cannot believe that we are here, almost at 350,000 subs. So keep hitting that subscribe button. Use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off and enjoy this day in MLB history. Hopefully, I'm seeing you guys later on today with another huge trade.
Has 10 homers, 45 RBIs. He swings. It's a high drive to deep right field. It is way back. It is gone.
Full time. 2-2 pitch. Scott in the air to deep left field. Back to the wall goes Spencer. That one is gone. It's a grand slam. The first one allowed by a Ranger.